So finally, Andrew Cuomo goes on the offensive. He writes a tweet, whether he wrote it, team wrote it, whoever it is, gets 30-something million views. Rob, do you mind just going to the tweet? Because I also want to see the commentary and the criticism that comes with it. So if you can go to X, go to Andrew Cuomo, perfect. And if you can go to that tweet. He finally decides to aggressively go after Mamdani. And he exposes him to the point that de Blasio had to respond. A bunch of people had to respond to what he had to say. And I think this is the one. Here we go. Somewhere last night in New York City, a single mother and her children slept at a homeless shelter because you, Assemblyman Mamdani, are occupying her rent-controlled apartment. You grew up rich and married even a wealthier woman. You've had weddings on 3 continents. You own property in LGBTQIA plus murderous Uganda. You make $142,000 a year plus stipends. Your wife works too, meaning you together likely make over $200,000 a year. No matter which way you cut it, Mamdani is a rich person. You are actually very rich. Yet you and your wife pay $2,300 a month as you have bragged for a nice apartment in Astoria that should be housing for someone who needs it. We are in the middle of a historic affordability crisis. Millions of low-income New Yorkers need this apartment and an apartment like it, yet your apartment remains rented to rich people who don't need it. Today I'm calling on you to move out immediately and give your affordable housing back to an unhoused family who needs it. Leaders must show moral clarity. Time to move out. Rob, if you can play the clip of what he says about his rent, I think that's when he's saying that. Go for it.
$300 for my 1-bedroom in Astoria.
$300 for my 1-bedroom in Astoria.
$300 for my 1-bedroom.
So you can pause this, Rob. De Blasio responds back, okay? I don't know if you can find that, or if you can't, Rob, just go back to Andrew Cuomo's video up top, and then we'll go to de Blasio's. Go back up one more. I think it's keep going, keep going, keep going. That's the one right there. So then in this one here, he announces that he's going to be doing something. If you can make that bigger, go for it, Rob.
Rent-stabilized units, when they're vacant, should only be rented to people who need affordable housing, not people like Zohran Mamdani. You don't need to be renting rent-stabilized units to wealthy people. Otherwise, what you're doing is you're abusing the system. I'm going to propose not rent that apartment by law, except to a person who actually needs affordable housing. And I'm going to call it Zohran's Law because it's an abuse of the system.
Okay, you can pause it right. So, Tom, your thoughts on this story here?
Well, first of all, whoever Mamdani's advisors are, that was not a talking point to me because you're sticking your chin out there against Mike Tyson. And I think Andrew Cuomo reacted the way an opponent's going to react in New York, saying, are you crazy? We have affordability crisis. It was like a fastball, and Andrew Cuomo hit it so hard the ball hasn't landed. And he's also coming back and saying, and by the way, we need to make a law because New York is famous for the rent control laws. And much as I don't like the rent control laws, he's making a point here. If we have rent controlled housing and it's supposed to be for people like this, then let's make a threshold so that the people that it's intended for can get it. It doesn't become a cost benefit to other people that may get into it. And I think he's putting out a proposal for Zohran's Law that suddenly gives him something really to run against this guy. What Andrew Cuomo was missing, I think, for the last week was he was kind of out there, you know, what do you go with, Pat? I'm the old guy. Hey, I'm the guy you remember. You remember me? I was your governor. Remember me? So he's kind of running on remember me. And then everybody were going, yeah, I remember a little bit about COVID too, dude. And now I think he actually has a plank to run on.
To be fair, Tom, Rob, if you can go to that tweet of Cuomo, the first one, we'll come back to the de Blasio one. If you can go to the first one that he put up and go down a little bit and let's just read the comments because the comments is what matters the most. Go to this and read the comments, zoom in a little bit. Okay, so that's obviously the campaign. Go a little bit lower. I want to read the criticism. Mamdani is more corrupt than I realized. He's an expert socialist fraud, rich and title hoarding, housing to take. Okay, good. Disgusting is right. I came to the comments expecting you to be getting cooked in some version of the story. Sounds like you may have actually uncovered something here. Congratulations. Okay, cool. Keep going, little. Run on a platform means test renting. So throughout. Okay, interesting idea. It's good to see you fighting. Good. Fly. Okay, preach. Yes, 100%. Amen. Go a little bit lower, Rob, to see if there's any criticism of what's being said. I guess what's happening here. And they figured something out with, what do you call it, algorithm. If you comment, you automatically bring up the comments that are most favorable of you. Do you understand what just happened right there? I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
Every one of them. Shameful. I'll be darned.
Yeah.
Look at that. Those are these
exactly
quick responses from Cuomo.
I commented there, and him and I exchanged messages yesterday.
I like Joey Marinario, but right there, I just think that just captures it.
One of the things I said to him yesterday was the following. I said, if you roll up your sleeves and play offense like this daily, November 4th will be a good day. Your opponent is young, nimble, energetic, and shameless. You have to match that and beyond. Running for mayor is very different than running for governor. Keep playing offense, right? What's the point there? Running for governor is different than Congress, than Senate, than mayor, than president. It's a very different game. Like, DeSantis was good for running for what? Governor. Mm-hmm. And he was Congress, I think, before, right? But president was very different.
Yeah, Daytona District. He was a congressman.
Right. So it's a very different game nationally versus this. But the more central it is, the more smaller it is, the more it's grassroots, the more it's shaking hands, the more it's going there. So Andrew Cuomo has to act like he's 30 years old, drinking his coffee, drinking his energy drink, whatever he goes, energize, keep the diet down, maybe no breakfast in the morning, go a little bit with energy where you're hungry throughout the day, have your first meal at lunch, maybe have dinner early at 5 o'clock and still go back at it and play offense. Because the reality of it is this guy's not going to be slowing down. Having said that, here's what de Blasio said, and then I'm going to come to you. De Blasio, the former mayor, who is probably, I don't know, some will say the worst mayor New York's had in our lifetime. He said, I did a rent freeze, and almost 2 million hardworking New Yorkers benefited. Mamdani wants to do a rent freeze. You know who doesn't want to do a rent freeze? Andrew Cuomo. And he thinks he can trick us into forgetting that. Can we see the comments section below what people are saying about de Blasio? Go a little bit lower. Rob, okay. Actually, you didn't go to the comment section. Click on the comment section. Yeah, right there. So let's see what people are saying. Go a little bit lower. Go a little bit lower. The former governor is hypocrite. Just a dirty. How do apartment owners continue to run business if you deny them the rent that they deserve for the property? Thank you. I am John Galt. In fact, Mamdani wants to improve lives. Hardworking in order. The rest want to pamper the rich and rent freeze. No problem. Push those billionaires out and see what happens. I heard reports that 123 billionaires may leave New York City if Zohran is elected. I strongly suggest that 90% of their wealth be extracted via, oh my God, an exit tax. Here's a hint. If working people don't get a break soon, they're going to come take their shares the hard way. Wow.
Read the next
idea
one.
that New Yorkers benefited during the excruciatingly ideological and practical term is laughable. New York City survived you. It didn't thrive under your confused and egocentric leadership. Adam, your thoughts on this?
Well, this argument about rent freezes, let's play the pros and cons. So what are the pros? All right, people that are renting, they basically protect vulnerable people from massive rent increases in expensive cities like New York City. Let's play the con. So landlords will then become slumlords, because if you cannot increase the rent and pay your mortgage or pay your expenses, what are you going to do with the properties? You're just going to let them rot, and you're not going to maintain them. You're not going to fix them, and the properties will go to crap. We all know that. But as far as Andrew Cuomo goes,
which is what's happening. Very
Yes.
good point. Which is what's happening currently
Thank
right
you.
now.
Yeah, exactly. So, but if you're Cuomo, as much as I'm a believer in Chris Cuomo's shift to the middle and being reasonable, it is way too late for Andrew Cuomo to do anything here. Remember the song from One Republic that goes, it's too late to apologize. It's too late for you, Andrew Cuomo. It ain't happening. By the way, if you look at the poly markets right now, Zohran Mamdani is 80% likely to win. Cuomo and Eric Adams are combined, I think 16, 17%, 8 and 8, 9 and 8, whatever way you cut it. There it is right there. 80, 90 and 8, and then Curtis Sliwa 1%. Here's the bad news, guys, or good news for some of you. This guy Mamdani is going to win the New York City mayoral race. And let's just be prepared for a communist Islamist to take over, and let's see what happens in New York City. I think a lot of them are going to be moving to Miami. And don't discount that smile. Look at that smile on Mamdani. Forget about policies.
9%,
Yes.
Andrew, 8%.
Not good. This guy's got
Now,
a smile that is infectious,
he does.
like cancer.
But let me explain something to you how politics works.
Explain.
Okay? I'm going to explain something to you, and I'm going to educate you.
Please, sir, I'm all
my
ears.
friend here. No, man, I'm just going to give you what's going on here. So here's my opinion.
I'm all ears.
Don't forget what happened with the great, legendary apple-eating Canadian named Pierre Poilievre. don't ever forget the greatness of his. How he got cocky, and I'm like, not only did he think he was going to be the prime minister of Canada, it felt like he believed he was going to be the leader of the free world. Pierre Poilievre. Yeah, he's a cheval. You know what I'm saying?
Je ne sais quoi.
And last minute, 2 to 4 weeks before election, he gets destroyed by a freaking World Economic Forum guy named Mark Carney. And it becomes the worst political loss of our lifetime with a guy that had that big of a flippin' lead. Embarrassing, right? What does this mean? If Andrew's your brother, if Andrew's my brother, you have to go on a podcast and address your F-ups. You have to. And I know in that family, neither one of them want to. And that has to be an Italian thing, something their father told them many years ago. Because they believe if you do, the other side's going to do what?
Trash you.
Double down on you, right? And just going to trash you. But if he wants to go and address that and clear it up and go past it, you have to be straight up. But in the last 4 weeks of New York City, you don't know who's going to come out and support. You still don't know. Apparently, Trump and Andrew Cuomo had a conversation together where Trump is wanting to help Andrew Cuomo win. If you put up a story, Andrew Cuomo, type in Andrew, Trump, Andrew, and Trump, If you put, and then go to news, there's a story of Trump called them or something happened. Did Trump and Cuomo actually talk on the phone 3 days ago? Yeah, can you click on that? So zoom in a little, there's no story, it's just a video. Let's see what the video says, Rob.
Sure.
Go on that and click on the video if you could. Go ahead. Okay, we got a commercial. So apparently these guys spoke, and you think Trump's going to want Mamdani to win over Andrew Cuomo? Don't forget, the moment Trump saw that Pierre Poilievre was being cocky and arrogant, what did Trump do? I kind of like the Carney guy who ended up winning. Carney won.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Carney won. Is this it, Rob? Can you play this clip?
Andrew Cuomo is doubling down on his denials of reports that he spoke with President Trump regarding the election.
But the Democratic nominee, Zohran Mamdani, does not believe him and is lashing out at the former governor. Robert Moses joins us now with the very latest on this. Robert.
Kurt and Rosanna, who says the summer is the quiet time leading up to the election? Far from it. With 88 days to go until the election, the candidates are still sparring over that New York Times report claiming that President Donald Trump and former Governor Andrew Cuomo spoke by phone in recent weeks. Cuomo says the president actually prefers State Assemblyman Zohran Mamdani and Mayor Eric Adams over him for different reasons, and denies the New York Times reporting.
I can't remember the last time I spoke to President Trump. I've never spoken to him about the mayor's race.
Mamdani doesn't believe that. He accuses Cuomo of, quote, conspiring with President Trump to the detriment.
Pause it. Okay. I don't understand the strategy behind it. I don't understand the strategy behind it. So you think it's a good idea for you to rally the troops to get behind you to claim that you're not a Trump guy? You think that's the better strategy? You don't think New Yorkers who, the Israel community of New York, the logical community of New York, the billionaires of New York, the Christians of New York, the Republicans of New York, the libertarians of New York, the independents of New York, you don't think Trump can help you get that vote and beat Mamdani? I don't know. I don't know. I don't understand that strategy. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I understand exactly what you're saying. There is a certain arrogance that went with Pierre Poilievre and that goes with Mamdani. Forget their positions, but there is a certain arrogance that goes with people that are up in the polls. And sometimes it doesn't make you much of a fighter. And then to sit there and say you've conspired with Trump. Conspired with Trump? Why don't you just come out and say you're anti everything that the United States stands for? Why don't you just come out and say that?
I don't know.
That's just not the play.
I don't know if that's the right play, especially after, like, you got so many easy things to go after. That was great, by the way. And that got tens of millions of views just on X, let alone how many views it got of people talking about it on podcasts. Here's another story that came up with Mamdani, is the fact that he hired private security after calling to defund the police. Adam, not defend the police. That's
No.
what he called to defund
Correct.
the police.
Totally different
And
opposites.
Totally different opposites.
Just
Rob, I
one
don't know
letter
if you got a clip on that,
This
Rob,
is-
or not.
I do. This is the actual clip from 2020 where he made the claim to defund the police.
That's the security he hired?
No, no.
Yes, that's who it is.
Seriously, Rob, that's a
look
security?
at that guy right there.
No, play the clip. There's no way that's a security.
Are you for defunding the police? Are you for serious reform that people can see on the ground?
I am in favor of defunding the police.
Yes.
Can you elaborate?
Yes. What that means is that right now in New York City, we have a budget of close to $6 billion for the New York City Police Department. And that is an astronomical figure.
Wow.
And I think that what we need to do is not chip away $1 million or $5 million. I think in this first year, we need to take $1 billion out of that budget.
Okay, so he said that. Now, he openly, the Mamdani spent $33,495 in June and July on advanced security and investigations, making 3 payments ranging from $8,000 to $13,000, despite his 2020 statements like queer liberation means defunding the police. The company advertises itself as a proud employer of cops in the New York Police Department, which Mamdani has personally called to defund following a Manhattan shooting where an off-duty NYPD police officer was murdered. Mamdani faced backlash for his anti-cop stance on X. I'm heartbroken, and we've read that tweet before. But there's many opportunities to go up against this after he had a massive wedding. I just think, I don't know who is Cuomo's campaign manager and who he's talking to about strategy. I don't know. I hope it's somebody that isn't the same as usual, because you're not going in a typical, traditional, same old campaign as you have in the past. This is a case study nobody can give you advice on. I don't know if that makes sense. Nobody can give you advice on this case study.
There's nothing off the shelf.
There's never been a time that you can go and look at a campaign like the one today, where Trump's at, where Mamdani's at, where America's at, where New York is at. There's never been, and where you are at. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm taking counsel from the typical guys that are, let me tell you, here's what James Carville, let me tell you what I'm going to. I think this is a very, very different. It's a mistake to take advice from anybody on politics right now that's above 60 years old on this campaign. My opinion. Vinny.
I mean, well, first off, I think Adam's right. And if I had to bet, if somebody gave me $100,000 and said, you have to bet this, who you're betting on, Mamdani's going to win. And good. I want New Yorkers to feel and see what the hell you want it. Like, it's, by the way, he's not hiding. He's letting you know, defund the police. He's pro-Islamic, whatever the hell he's doing. He was talking about, he said something along the lines of, he argued that suicide bombers need to be understood as a political category.
His father said that.
His father?
His father said that,
okay.
not him.
So thank you for clarifying.
Who's a professor?
Mamdani's father said that.
Columbia.
Father,
Yeah.
my bad. So that's what you're dealing with, and that's what you want. You're going to get what you want. And you made a great point. I don't want to give away anything, Pat, what you recently said. In 4 years, when we come back, because the elections when? Is it April?
No,
It's in
November.
November. Watch what's going to happen to them. But in fairness for the people.
I said that to all the guys at Jubilee.
I don't want to give it away.
Yeah.
You said that. And at the end of the day, I think I mentioned this once too. Look at the pool of people. They have Eric Adams, okay? Andrew Cuomo, with all due respect, what he did during COVID, there's no coming back from that. What he did with all the old people and all the deaths, nobody's going to forget that. So you have Eric Adams, you have him. This is their best choice, is a freaking communist, okay? So good. And the people that are backing him, the people that they're interviewing in the man in the street, they think he's the savior. Oh, he's going to, no police. You know what that means? With the amount of crime in New York, you know what that means, Adam? That they're not going to have cops. They're going to have social workers. When you get stabbed, a social worker is going to come up to you and be like, to the stabber, hey, how do you feel? What's making you stab that guy? Why are you stabbing him? How what's it like at home? They are doomed. I'm telling you right now, it's the modern day Gotham City, and I don't feel bad for them. You keep voting for these people, good for you. This is coming from a New Yorker.
Amen. There's two angles there. The first angle is the one that Pat asked. And I think that Cuomo needs to be talking to the core independents that are in Portland, Oregon. Remember, they defunded the police. They had that little zone that was downtown. I don't remember the name of it. They gave it a name. It was the zone that was downtown.
Chaz?
Yeah, or whatever it was. Exactly.
Chaz.
And guess what? Now they've come back, and the people of Portland, Oregon are like, this defund the police thing didn't work. We want, and it's ridiculous, the percentages you see in polls of people that want them to please fund the police in Portland, Oregon. I think it was a poll that was done that we covered on the podcast about 3 weeks ago. It was over 65%, over 2/3 of all voters were like, yeah, a few cops around here would be helpful, come in handy.
Real cool.
So I believe that they need to be talking to Cuomo's campaign. I agree, Pat. Nobody over 60 that's the usual suspect. They got to go get to some people that are running these successful campaigns back against it in places like Portland and bring it back. And George Will, our friend George Will, was on Bill Maher, and he sums it up at the end.
Great. Go for it, Rob.
I was about to get started. One of their leading lights was a socialist named Nurian Bevan. He said, what could go wrong? He said, we have a nation bedded on coal, surrounded by fish. It would take an organizational genius to have a shortage of either. In 3 years, they had a shortage of both. That's socialism.
And by the way, what George Will said here, I think yesterday or on Friday, I don't know when this was. He said, I hope they win.
Yes.
I want him to win because every 20 years we need a conspicuous, confined experience with social media so we can crack it up again. I am so on the same page with this one. I can't wait to see that happen. But there's a part of me that doesn't want to. There's the other part of me that wants a case study.
Of course. Well, those of you that don't know George Will, I think he was one of the first people that got you kind of into the political game. He was a very smart guy. And definitely made his way in the world. Regarding New York City and the potential mayor, Zohran Mamdani, people think that this is sort of a bug. I can't believe that they're going to vote for this communist, this socialist. I can't believe it. What people don't understand is this is not a bug. This is a feature. The people of New York City are voting for him because he's a communist, because he's an Islamist, because he's a socialist. That is the reason that they're voting for him. This whole social experiment that we're doing where the taxpayers will have to pay for all this. Here's a guy who's basically the anti-Zohran Mamdani explaining how it works. You got this, Rob?
Zohran is going to pay for free childcare, free buses, when he's going to step into office on the first day and he's going to realize actually the mayor doesn't have any power to raise money on the rich, and that was his plan to pay for all this crap to begin with. I'll tell you how he's going to pay for it. He's going to pay for it by raising property taxes, raising other taxes in any way that he can. The thing you got to understand is I'm from South Richmond Hill. People in the outer boroughs over there, they don't have these big fancy corporate tech jobs. They're not celebrities with fat salaries. The way they make their money is they own maybe a deli across the street, or they own a spice shop, or they work there. And those people are the ones that are going to absorb these higher taxes that he's going to use to generate income for his ill-conceived ideas that won't even...
Yeah,
They're done.
I understand what he's saying. And by the way, while we're on New York City, let me tell you how many bad ideas New York City keeps coming up with. This is another one for you.
Look at that guy right there, by the way.
Yeah,
See
go
that
back
picture?
to that one, Rob.
See that picture? Look at that guy.
Look at that stud.
Look
Look at a young
You know
George
when that
Will and a
is?
young PBD.
That is March of 2009, 16 years ago, when I heard him give a speech. And from that moment on, I'm like, man, this makes it. Lawyers are ruining America. He talked about stories about all this stuff. And I came back, I gave a 90-minute talk the following day, Saturday morning, and it was, this was Claremont Institute event with Larry Arnn. I think Pat Boone was at my table. I met John Voight. I met a bunch of guys. Fred Reba, all these guys.
This is right around the time you started PHP, no?
This is right before I started PHP.
Correct.
Wow.
A part of this meeting was why I started PHP, believe it or not.
Thank you, George Will.
Yeah, this is the day it happened.
tie.
The Gentleman's Series, VT merch. Let me tell you, the ties that you ask for, black ties. This is 100% silk with the Valuetainment logo, is on it with the pocket square tie. We have them in black and blue, absolutely sharp, incredible quality. It's not the thin, shiny quality. It's great quality. The ties that are here. And the other one is, this is limited edition, 100% leather, Valuetainment bag that's out here. Leather shoulder tote bag. That's here. Feel the quality on how the leather feels, by the way.
I feel like Vanna White right here.
Yeah.
This feels great.
And by the way, the VT logo is there.
Well, Adam knows about leather.
And then when you open it up, inside of it, you will see Future Looks Bright right here. Sick, absolutely sick. And by the way, the other day, Michael Beasley was doing a podcast. We're now seeing people actually wearing a Future Looks Bright hat all over the place. Michael Beasley's doing a podcast.
NBA player, number 2 pick of the draft many years ago by the Miami Heat.
I can't
Michael
wait
Beasley,
to
respect
see
to you. Future
millions
does
on
look
top
bright.
of millions. I get so many people on X who are posting pictures while they watch this podcast, and they'll tell me how they're watching the podcast, but they'll say, man, look at my Future Looks Bright hat. Look at my Future Looks Bright gear. Love seeing the support. More importantly, we need to convert more people that are coming here. We were just in LA this last weekend for, what do you call it? That show that happens. We won't post any of the pictures. You know the guy that sits in the middle
Jubilee.
and 20 people
Jubilee.
grill you?
Yeah.
I was in the middle with 20 anti-capitalists.
That was awesome, Pat.
It was epic. It was fire, and it'll be released in the next 4 to 6 weeks. Cannot wait to have you guys see it. But the whole premise is we need more people thinking the future looks bright instead of being victims. And, you know, it's not fair. I'm not happy about what's going to happen. I'm so scared about the future. So if you support that as well, go to vtmerch.com, place your order. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.